Yo, Patriots Nation, buckle up, because things just got real in Foxborough. Surprised, cuts, signings, trade buzz, and one loss that could shake this defense to its core just dropped all at once. And I'm not gonna lie, this matters, because what the Patriots do right now will decide whether this team is just trying to hang around, or whether it's actually ready to punch back and matter again in the AFC. So hit that like button, lock in, and tell me this. Curious, is Mike Vrabel cleaning house the right way? Or is he opening too many holes too fast? Because there's one move still looming that could flip everything upside down. The first shockwave? Anthony Jennings is out, and that's not just another boring roster cut to save some cash. No, this feels like Mike Vrabel walking into the building, flipping the table over and saying, "This defense is going to be built my way now." That's the message. Jennings wasn't just some random depth piece buried at the bottom of the rotation. He was a starter, a steady presence, a guy who understood the building, the culture, and what it took to survive in this system. So when a player like that gets cut loose, the message is loud. Now sure, the Patriots save over $3.8 million against the cap, and on paper, that sounds smart. Cap flexibility matters. Everybody knows that. But here's the catch. Flexibility is great until it turns into emptiness, because this isn't happening in a vacuum. Jennings is gone, Chaisson is gone too, and suddenly a position that already needed attention is now flashing red like a fire alarm at 3 a.m. And that's where the nation is going to split. One side is going to say Vrabel knows exactly what he wants, that Jennings didn't fit the new vision, didn't fit the system, didn't fit the speed and aggression they want off the edge. Fair enough. But the other side? They're going to look at this and say the Patriots are ripping apart a functional rotation before the replacement plan is fully on the board. And honestly, that concern is real. Because in today's AFC, if you can't hit the quarterback, you're roadkill. Simple as that. Harold Landry is still here. Dre'Mont Jones is in. Elijah Ponder, Braden Swinson, Luke Tia. There are names on the depth chart. But are there answers? That's the million-dollar question. If you were running this team right now, would you attack edge in free agency or in the draft? Drop that in the comments, because this move might be the start of a smarter, meaner defense, or the first crack in the foundation. The Patriots signed KJ Britt, and I already know what some fans are saying. That's it? That's the move? But hold on, because this one's more interesting than it looks. Britt isn't some blockbuster name. He's not the type of signing that sends the fan base through the roof in 5 seconds. But sometimes off-season football isn't about fireworks. Sometimes it's about laying bricks. And this feels like one of those brick-by-brick moves. Britt played every game last season with Miami, mostly as a reserve and on special teams. The numbers don't scream superstar. They don't jump off the page. But that's not really the point here. The point is timing. The point is function. The point is that New England is reshaping the second level of this defense while losing old pieces and trying to stabilize a room that suddenly feels like musical chairs with shoulder pads. That matters. Elliott Wolf already hinted they wanted more at off-ball linebacker, so this signing tells you something important. They know exactly where the roster felt thin. Britt brings toughness, experience, and value on special teams. He may not be flashy, but not every move has to be flashy. Some moves are about keeping the whole machine from rattling apart. Still, let's be real. Patriots fans aren't wrong to wonder whether this is smart roster building, or just another Band-Aid. Because those are two very different things. If Britt comes in as depth, a role player, a special teams hammer, then this is solid business. If he ends up playing a bigger role than he should because the room still lacks true impact, then we're having a very different conversation by October. So tell me this, does this move calm you down, or does it make you even more nervous? And if you want to see Patriots Nation back where it belongs, hit like, subscribe, and stay locked in, because every move this offseason is telling us a bigger story. Now let's talk about the one that could blow the roof off the place. Romeo Doubs is in, and the second that news dropped, people started acting like the Patriots had solved the receiver problem. But pump the brakes. I like the player. I get the value. I see exactly why they made the move. But there's a huge difference between adding a good piece and landing a guy who changes the entire gravity of your offense. Doubs got paid. 4 years, $80 million. So obviously expectations are going to soar, but let's call it what it is. He's never hit 750 yards in a season. He's never become that unquestioned alpha in a wide receiver room. He's solid, reliable, useful. He absolutely helps. But does he walk through the door and instantly become the guy defenses fear every snap? That's a much tougher sell. And that's why the A.J. Brown trade buzz still feels alive. In fact, Doubs almost makes it make more sense. Because if Brown lands in Foxborough, suddenly Doubs slides into a much more natural role. Then you've got structure, then you've got layers, then Drake Mail has a real 1-2 punch instead of a bunch of nice pieces trying to play hero ball. That's when an offense stops looking patchwork and starts looking dangerous. But if Brown never comes, that's where the pressure spikes. Because asking Doubs to be the full-blown WR1, the guy carrying the room, the guy threatening 1,000 yards and changing coverages every week, that's asking a very good player to wear a cape he may not be built to wear. And that's where the debate gets spicy. Some fans are going to say, stop complaining, they added talent. That's progress. And sure, that's true. But other fans are going to ask the uncomfortable question. Did the Patriots pay premium money for a player who may still need someone bigger next to him to unlock the full picture? That's the heart of it. So here it is. If you were the GM, would you still go all in for an alpha receiver? Is Doubs enough, or are the Patriots still one massive swing away from changing the whole offense? Because while the offense is still waiting on that potential jackpot move, the defense just lost one of its best pass rushers. Chaisson is gone, and this one stings. 1 year, $12 million from Washington. That's the deal. And this isn't losing some fringe role player who barely mattered. This is losing a guy who just had the best year of his career, posted 7.5 sacks, hammered quarterbacks all season, and showed up when it mattered most. That kind of production doesn't just disappear quietly, it leaves a crater. What makes this hurt even more is that Chaisson didn't leave as a disappointment. He left after finally figuring it out. He earned his role. He won a starting spot. He produced in big moments, including the playoffs. So naturally, fans are going to ask the question, if he wanted to stay, if he played well, if he fit, why let him walk? And honestly, that's a fair punch. Now yes, Washington paid real money. And yes, New England clearly doesn't want to get emotional with every decision in this phase of the rebuild. Vrabel and the front office look committed to building this thing on their terms, with discipline, fit, and long-term vision. That sounds great in March. But when productive pass rush walks out the door, that philosophy gets tested fast. Because finding sacks is like finding gold. Everybody needs it, and it never comes cheap. Dre'Mont Jones helps. No doubt. 7 sacks last year. Bigger body, versatile piece. But let's not pretend he's a clean one-for-one replacement for Chaisson. Different profile, different role, different style. So the Patriots aren't replacing Chaisson, they're trying to offset his loss with a different kind of weapon. That can work, but right now, it's still a gamble. And that brings us to the real pressure point. What's the biggest need now? Edge rusher, linebacker, or wide receiver? That's the debate that should light up every comment section. Because Chaisson's exit doesn't just hurt because of what he was. It hurts because of what it reveals. This roster still has holes, still has questions, and still has a few spots where one wrong move could throw the whole game plan off balance. So here's the picture. Patriots Nation. Vrabel is moving fast, cutting ties, taking swings, and making it crystal clear that this is not going to be a soft rebuild. This is aggressive. This is uncomfortable. This is the kind of offseason that can either set the table for a real comeback or leave you staring at a half-built house when the season starts. And I'm not gonna lie, that's exactly why this is so fascinating. Because the promise hanging over all of this is still the same. There's one move out there that could change everything. A true alpha weapon, a real game breaker, a guy who doesn't just help Drake Mail, a guy who changes the temperature of the entire franchise the second he arrives. If that move happens, the board flips. If it doesn't, the pressure gets heavier by the day. So now I'm throwing it to you. Do you trust the plan? Or do you think New England is taking too many risks too early? Are these smart, calculated moves? Or are the Patriots playing with fire? Drop your take in the comments, share this with another Pats fan, and stay locked in. Because if this offseason has shown us anything, it's that the next bombshell could drop at any second.